confusing. In the 2-point perspective, now you're turning the box so that the corner is the closest thing to you. So we're looking at it dead on, as a 1-point perspective, the corner is going to be what you're closest to. So, thank you for bringing this box. Okay. All right, so the easiest thing is just start with a corner, and you determine how high you want it. Now, if I draw my vertical line straight down there, you're going to be looking down at it. So, now you got to figure out where you're going to put those vanishing lines. For our purposes, we're going to put them right here. Put them as far away as you can. Because if you get them too close together, you're going to have a really extreme angle. Okay, so, in 2-point perspective, 2-point. I hope you can read writing. If you were, Riley, can you read that? Because I know in some of the classes they're not teaching cursive anymore.
But that's just, I think, this year or last year, so it's not, she would know how to read it most likely.
Well, I
been
think
longer
globally
than
in some
some
of
of
It's
the
been
schools-
about
Yeah.
5 years for the schools.
Yeah.
and
They
then-
taught it in 3rd grade.
Did it? Good.
Can you read it?
Okay. So anyway, you start with your closest corner, and you take the top and the bottom to one of these points. So on this side, you're going to go over here, and on this side, you're going to go that side. Okay, so you got 2 points instead of 1. Okay, and then you just determine how big you want that. So I'm going to cut it off right here with a vertical line and another vertical line over here. Okay. And then you take, I'm going to make this transparent so you can see through it so you understand it. So you take the bottom right there, take it back to that point, not that one, this one. So you take this over here and go to that point, and you take this one and go to this point. And do the same thing with the top. You take this and go over there. That was really good. And you take this top and go over here. Okay? Now, if I was drawing with a ruler, it'd be a lot more correct. Where it intersects is where you take the vertical line and connect it with that one. And if I had drawn it correctly, it would line up perfectly, but obviously I'm not using a ruler, but it's supposed to connect there. And you can erase all these lines and see what you got, because it can get kind of confusing. Got it? Understand that? Okay. So that's how you make a basic box. And that box can turn into a gift box. It can turn into a building, a barn. I don't know. Anything that's that shape. So it can be lots of things. So with that, if you are drawing this, and I'm going to erase this so it's not so confusing. Take it back to an opaque cube. But you do need to understand how to make it transparent, because you need to know where those things line up. Okay, let's say you're going to put a door here. In 2-point perspective, the vertical still remain vertical. So I could put a door here, however high I want to make it, and bring it down to the ground. And then you take the top and take it back to that vanishing point. And then you cut it off with another vertical. And that would be your door. This could be a window right here. And that would go back to the vanishing point. So anything on this side will go back to those vanishing points. Anything on this side is going to go back to those vanishing points. As far as what we know that that's supposed to be horizontal, even though it's going away from us now. So horizontal lines go back to here, but the verticals stay vertical. In 3-point perspective, everything changes. We're not going to go there today. But anyway, so if you have a window over here, how would you find the middle of that window? It's really easy.
Measuring.
Diagonals between the points.
Exactly. To find the true center, take it from corner to corner, corner to opposite corner, and that's where the center is. You don't measure it because if you measure this line to this line, the actual measurement would probably be about right there, and that's off a little bit. But the true center, as it's going away from you, is done by figuring out where the diagonal meets. So this is the center of your window. So this side's a little wider than that side is. Everything going away gets smaller and smaller. That's one of the rules of perspective, is things get smaller, or they appear smaller. Okay. If this was a gabled roof, I think that's what you call it, isn't it? Okay, so we know that if you want to make a gabled roof, you do the same thing. You take this corner to this corner, and this corner down to there, and that shows you where the middle of the wall is. And then you go straight up with your ruler to determine okay, I want the roof higher than the box part, so obviously I have to make it a little bit higher. It's going to be, and then you can take that back to the corner, that to the corner, bring this across over here to the top of your roof, and cut it off at some point. Now you've got a roof. That makes sort of sense. It's not exact, but you understand the concept? Okay. Now we're going to take trees. Happy little trees. Or it could be, how about, we could do telephone poles. And those telephone poles could be people, they could be trees, plants, anything. As it goes away from you, it gets smaller. So if this was in okay, I'm going to make another line down here. As to jeez. That's supposed to be a straight line. Okay.
So am I.
Pseudo. Yes. Okay, okay, if you're gonna have a telephone pole, obviously they go higher up probably than the horizon, so I'm gonna make the pole like that. That's supposed to be a telephone pole. Okay, but I'm not gonna put the crossbars on it because that's another time. Okay, so you take this back to there. Okay? Now, do you know that telephone poles are spaced every 20 feet or whatever they are? But to make that look believable in perspective, you would take this telephone pole and when you draw the second one, how are you going to draw the next ones and make them look closer and closer? Now you could freehand it and just kind of guess, which a lot of artists do. Or if you want to be very precise, you find out where the middle of this first pole is. And the middle of that first pole is probably about right there, close to it, about the middle of that first pole. And you take that all the way back to the vanishing point. That's the middle, you know, you'd measure it. Okay, and then when you have the middle line there and your second pole, you take a line from your top pole and meet at that intersection on the second pole. And you draw a line through there. And where that meets on this line is where you put the next vertical. That's the technical way of figuring it out. Now, the same thing again, you take for this pole, you take this, the next one, take it right through where this would meet that intersection there, because that determines the middle of the pole, and you start the next pole. You understand that? And the same thing all the way down. You just keep going down a pole, taking the top of it, going to the middle of the last one you drew. Whoops. And it gets smaller and smaller. So there is a method to figure it out. So to find the center, corner to corner, and where it intersects, that's the center. And the same thing, figuring that out too. I think that's probably enough for today.